Welcome to In Progress, a podcast to help you grow and learn how to become a better version of yourself. Now, here's your host, Michael Sirigliano.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of In Progress. I'm your host, Michael Sirigliano. Now, I'm going to be talking directly to the givers, the people pleasers, the people that just can't seem to be selfish, can't really think to do things for just themselves. And I want to tell you guys that in order to go further along in life, in order to reach that next level, you have to be. Your life changes the minute you start doing what's right for you, not what's right for everybody else, not worrying about what everybody else thinks, but worrying about what's best for you. Whether that's maybe you're not going to go out as much, maybe that's putting more effort in at work, maybe that's staying in and doing research instead of playing video games with your friends, or whatever it may be. The moment that you decide that you are going to be doing everything only for you, whatever's best for you, is the moment that your life just switches. Everything changes in your life because now your internal dialogue, your decision making is based on what's best for you. What can you do to make yourself more comfortable, to get yourself further along on your journey? All of that is necessary in order to go further in life. You cannot continue to do for others exclusively and expect that you are going to come out on the other end of that successful, or come out on the other end of that in any positive manner. Now, there are people that it happens to, but we're talking about the majority, not the exception, right? And then to go along with that, a lot of people, when they're trying to be more selfish, when they're doing for themselves more, they want to pursue a dream, and they can't seem to be going at the velocity that they'd like to be going at, right? They're not going as fast as they'd like to be going. And the reason for that is simple. The reason for that is simply because of the fact that in order to be committed to something, you must remove any alternatives. So you cannot be pursuing a dream or pursuing an endeavor or trying to better yourself in any manner and expect to be getting there as fast as you'd like if you have alternatives. So a very, very simple example for this is simply dieting. So if you wanted to diet and you know that you eat chips at night when you're watching TV, that is your go-to. You're eating some chips at night or popcorn or ice cream, whatever. In order to be committed to your diet, you need to remove the alternatives. Remove the junk food. Remove the bullshit from the house in order to stay strict on your diet. You do not need to have that there. And I know some people, including myself for a little while, wanted to have things in the house that in case people came over, they can have that. But unfortunately, the reality of the situation is, unless you have extremely strong willpower, which is fantastic, but why even play that game? If you have strong willpower, maybe you can leave those chips in the cupboard. Maybe you can leave that ice cream in the freezer. But a lot of people don't have that level of willpower, so why even play the game? Don't have chips. If people are coming over, buy it then. If people are coming over, you could then buy the ice cream, the chips, the pizza, whatever. But you don't need to be keeping it in the house because, unfortunately, the reality of the situation is that you will inevitably at least snack a little bit. So you need to keep your house, the food that you have in your house, specific to the diet that you're on. If you want to go to the gym every day, you need to remove the ability to not go. You need to remove the excuses. There are no alternatives. Commitment is simply defined as the lack of alternatives. There are zero other options for you. It is this or nothing. And that is full, true commitment. No matter what it is, whether it's a relationship, a diet, your career, your endeavors, your journey, whatever it may be. In order to succeed in said journey, endeavor, or whatever, you need to remove the alternatives. Because when alternatives are there and available, human nature is to dabble in it a little bit. Now, willpower obviously plays a huge factor. If you have the alternatives and choose not to partake, fantastic on you. But why even have that? Go a step further. There are no alternatives. Your commitment is going to dictate whether you are or are not successful, whether you get to your goal or don't. How fast you move towards your goal is 100% based on your commitment to said goal. And with the removal of alternatives, you don't have those other options. You have no choice but to succeed. So why give yourself the ability to fuck up? Why give yourself the ability to have those snacks, talk to those people, skip the gym, go out drinking? Why give yourself that option when it's as simple as removing it as an option itself completely? Now, I saw something online earlier today that talked about the growth of somebody going through their journey, succeeding, going through their endeavors. And the way that this person put it was that in order to go to your next chapter, you have to walk through the fire. Everybody experiences this when they are on the path of success. When they are on the path that they are put on earth for, there's going to be a time period, a chapter where you are walking through the fire. And a lot of people, because this chapter is lonely. The chapter is you upgrading yourself. The chapter is you figuring out who you are. The chapter is a massive amount of introspection, finding out who you are and who you need to be in order to become the person that you are going to become. So this chapter, a lot of people get hung up on this, and that's why some people revert back to what they were doing previously, their comfort zone. They go back to going out drinking because all their friends are out drinking. They go back to being lazy on the couch because it was more comfortable. Because in this chapter of growth, no matter what chapter you're on, no matter where you are in your journey, at some point in the past or in the future, or maybe you're currently experiencing this, you're going to be going through a chapter of loneliness. You're figuring out that the way that you're living life isn't quite as congruent with who you want to become as it should be. So in order to become the person that you want to become, you have to figure out what parts of you don't belong. If you want to become a personal trainer, maybe the parts of you that don't belong are the parts of you that are eating fast food every day. Maybe it's the parts of you that are eating junk food. Maybe it's the parts of you that go out drinking all the time and partying. If you want to open up a business, maybe the parts of you are strictly time management based. Maybe you're putting too much time into other things and you need to get rid of those other things in order to dedicate your time to your craft. So in order to become who you want to be, there's going to be a chapter, a time period where you are just by yourself. You are lonely, but it is full of introspection, and you need to see it as just that. Yeah, you might be lonely. Maybe we'll go to the full extreme. You have nobody. And it absolutely sucks because as people, we are social. We need others around us to talk, to vent to communicate with. And maybe you don't have that. And that absolutely sucks. And I understand that. But just know that in that time period where you have nobody, where you think you're all alone, all that is a shift. That is you leveling up. And you need to be comfortable with the uncomfort. You need to be comfortable in situations that are not comfortable. You need to understand that these are stepping stones towards your future, and in order to get to the point you want to get to, you must go through this as well. Now, there was a quote by Dr. Joe Dispenza that related perfectly to this idea, and I wanted to share it with you guys. The quote says, "In order to step into a new future, you have to confront the parts that aren't going there. You need to identify what parts of you cannot exist in the future you." So whether that is the lack of willpower, whether that is the lack of time management skills, whether that's a lack of managing finances, regardless of what it is, you need to identify and remove the parts of you that cannot be when you are moving into your future. Because the future you needs all of that bullshit gone. All of that bullshit needs to be gone in order for you to level up to that next level. And as long as you hold on to these parts of you, and I completely understand that sometimes when you identify with these parts of you, the parts of you that go out partying, you think that that is who you are. You think that that is what you enjoy, and it is fun in the moment. But in order to become a better version of yourself, you cannot possibly be doing all of these things that don't actually aid in your growth whatsoever. You need to be able to identify what it is that is in you that cannot possibly move on to the future you. And you need to understand that you're going to have to remove that. And that's not a quick task by any means. So don't think just because it's a quick part of this episode that it's quick. No. It takes time. You're going to want to continue going out to party, and you will continue to go out to party. But once you identify that can no longer be a part of you in this next chapter, maybe down the line when you are absolutely where you want to be, you are successful, you are partying again. But right now, you need to grind. You need to really put your head down and focus and fuck everybody else and what they think, because they're not going to be the ones that help you get to where you want to be. The people that you are associating with when you're in the bars, getting drunk, doing drugs, those are not the people that you're going to be associating with when you are on that journey up. It's impossible. Those are the people that resonate with you now. Those are the people that you call friends now. But the actions that they take, the things that they do not resonate with who you're going to become. And you need to identify that and understand that, yeah, they're fun now. But down the line, that's not actually who you want to be around. And they might be great friends of yours. You might consider them brothers and sisters. But unfortunately, you have to get rid of the dead weight. And unfortunately, these people are dead weight to you. So you need to be able to identify that and slowly remove yourself from the bullshit in order to get to where you want to be. Now, in order to succeed, a lot of people, they don't lack a vision. Nobody really lacks a vision, and everybody has a vision, right? Everybody has this thing inside of them where they want to do more. They believe that they are put on this earth to do more. And mind you, anything that you think you should be doing, the things that make a change in the world, the things that make a difference, the things that make you who you are, those visions, those goals, those aspirations, you don't have them for no reason. They're not put inside of you as a joke. They're not just, oh, it passed by and that's it. No. You have a talent. You have a gift. And in order to continue pursuing this gift, you need to be able to not only have the vision of this gift, but you need to have the depth perception of how far along you are. You need to be able to understand how far along you are. Because the problem with a lot of people is they don't lack the vision by any means. Everybody has goals. Everybody wants to be something or do something. Everybody wants to make some type of change. But the problem that a lot of people face is not the lack of vision, but the lack of depth perception. They believe they're further along than they are, and so they give up when they think they should be somewhere that they're not. So you think that you should be this big star. You think that your business should be, at this point, a multi-million-dollar business. But in reality, you haven't put in the time. And a mindset that I keep in order to continue pushing me forward in all of my endeavors is a simple one. But it's the power of one more. The power of one more, which is a concept that I heard from Ed Milet. The power of one more, simply put, is maybe you're not where you want to be, but what if one more business meeting gets you to where you want to be? What if one more podcast interview gets you to where you want to be? What if one more relationship gets you to where you want to be? Well, then, you need to understand that the work you've put in, well, you've put that work in. That work has been done. You've been putting time and effort into this journey, whatever it may be. Maybe you're trying to find the person that you're going to marry. Maybe you're trying to build a business. The work has already been put in. If you're looking for someone you want to marry, you've dated all these people. The work's been put in. Don't close yourself off now. Maybe the next one is the one that you'll marry. If you're in business and you've made cold calls and all of this door knocking and you've closed deals, maybe the next cold call, the next door knock, the next deal that you get is that big break for you. And you'd never know, because without the depth perception, without the ability to understand you're not as far as you want to be, you're going to give up too soon. And how would you feel looking back on everything when you die, knowing the outcome of everything? How would you feel if you find out that it was just that one more try, that one little bit of effort more would have completely changed the trajectory of your life in and of itself? And it was just the one more. How would you feel? You'd feel stupid. You would hate past you because you didn't continue going forward in this journey. Because it could literally be one more. One more video can make you viral. One more cold call can make you a multi-million-dollar business. One more relationship can have you find the person you're meant to be with. But without putting forth that effort and understanding that it's going to take time, you're never going to reach the goals that you want to reach. But you are supposed to reach the goals that you want to reach. That's why they're even in your head. You wouldn't even think of the goals if you didn't think that you can achieve the goals. But without the time, without the effort, you cannot possibly reach the goals. And if you are putting in the time and the effort, then it's as simple as timing. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're not where you want to be quite yet. But the next thing, if you're a musician, the next show. If you're in business, the next cold call. If you're dating, the next relationship. One more can be the difference between remaining how you are and becoming the successful whatever that you dream to become. Simply one more. And put in that perspective, one more. That's not difficult by any means. One more is literally that, one more. One more video. How hard is it to do one more? One more relationship, one more cold call. That's not difficult. But when you think you're supposed to be further along than you are, and you put your own timing on these things, that's when you get fucked up. That's when you start thinking, oh, well, maybe it's not for me. But in reality, the divine timing is not yours. Your job is simply to put in the work, the effort, and the time. And then when the time is right, that's when things will shift in your favor. But you need to be putting in the work consistently in order to get there. If you're not putting in the work, you couldn't possibly think that you're going to get to where you want to be. And if you're putting in the work now, fantastic. You could be one away. And you would absolutely hate it if you found out that you were one away and that's when you gave up. Because one more is nothing. If you've been doing it for years, one more doesn't mean a thing to you. But it could be the difference between becoming a successful multi-millionaire and staying where you are. Finding that happy relationship and family and staying single forever. One more is all that it takes to get to where you want to be. Now, when I was researching topics for this episode, I came across the red car theory, or red car experiment, as some call it. And the idea of it is this. On your way to work this morning, how many red cars did you see that you can remember? 1, 2, none? Most of us will probably say none, unless it was an exotic car that came by. Most of us would say, I didn't see any, or I can't recall any. Now, let's change that for a second. What if I told you that for every red car that you see on your way into work today, I will personally pay you $50? How many red cars do you think you'll see then? Probably a lot. You'll probably see a shit. You'll probably identify every single one. Now, why is that? Why is it that when you're driving into work, normally you don't see them, but when I offer you money, you do? Well, because the money's there. The financial gain is there. Now, the experiment was done as a precursor to the ability to identify options, identify future options. So, to put into a different way, the experiment was basically put there to say that you don't pay attention to things because it's not important to you. But if it was important to you, then you would. So let's put that into a business aspect, right? Say that you own a business in, I don't know, real estate. You're in the real estate industry, and you can't find motivated sellers or motivated buyers. Maybe you can't come across houses that need to be sold, and you're just depending on the MLS. But what if you can go a step further and you can actually find motivated sellers who just don't have houses on the market? If I told you that I would give you $1,000 for every motivated seller that you found, you'd probably be able to find that, right? Maybe you start having conversations with people when you have conversations with people out in the real world about their housing situation. Do they want to move out to a new house? Are they trying to make their family larger and they need a new house? Are they over their head in bills with their current housing situation and they need to get rid of it? You won't be able to identify these opportunities unless you're looking for them. And you won't be looking for them unless you're motivated to do so. So in whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be building a business or putting content on social media, real estate, music, or just a normal job even, you'll be able to identify opportunities that will be able to propel you forward in life and in your respective genre of work if you actually look for it. Without actually actively looking for these things, you'll never find them. They're not going to come to you. If you're a real estate agent who needs to find motivated sellers, they're not all going to come to you. Yes, some will when they finally come to terms with the fact that they need to sell and they have no other options. But what if you can find them before that? And then they're just your client. What if you have a business where you provide, go with my brother for example, you provide vinyl wraps for businesses. What if you find a business that needs vinyl wrap before they know they need vinyl wrap? Maybe their windows are bare and they need signage in their windows, but they don't even think about that because they're still in the process of building up their business. You can beat them to it. Hey, listen, I can provide you this service that you currently obviously don't have. But if you're not looking for it actively, you'll never find that. So you need to be able to identify opportunities in the real world that don't just slap you in the face and say, here I am. You need to be able to identify opportunities on a daily basis. And with the ability to identify these opportunities, you'll be ahead of the game. Because most people kind of autopilot through life. They just wake up, coffee, breakfast, drive to work, can't remember the entire drive to work at all. Clock into work, work their day, can't really remember the day either. Drive home, can't really remember the drive home. Get home, make dinner, eat it, watch TV, everything is autopilot, completely mindless. But if you're out there looking for these opportunities, then you'll have the ability to then succeed. You'll have the ability to find these opportunities and see if they are what you need in order to go to that next step, that next chapter. But without looking for it, you couldn't possibly find it unless it comes to you and says it specifically. And most of the time, that's not the case. So without you actively looking for these opportunities, you will never find these opportunities at all. You need to be able to work harder. You need to be able to continue going no matter what. You need to not give up. Most people just give up. If they're not successful millionaires by 23, they're done. They're just settling in and autopiloting the rest of their life, which is so fucking sad. But unfortunately, that is the reality of most people. But you are not most people. And that's why you need to continue pushing, because you are going to make the difference. You have those goals in your mind that you want to achieve. And in order to achieve those goals, you must continue working. One more meeting, one more relationship is all that it takes to separate current you from future you. And without that one more, without identifying the one more, you will never get there. I wanted to end the podcast today with a quote that I heard from the Andrew Tate. This quote has to do completely with what we were just talking about, and it goes like this. A Nissan should never beat a Ferrari around a track, but if the Ferrari breaks down halfway and the Nissan keeps going, the Nissan is going to win. You can't control what God decided you're going to be given to play this game with, but you can control whether you're the kind of person who gives up or continues to fight. The choice is yours. So you need to understand that you are going to continue fighting. You have to keep fighting. You cannot possibly dictate the circumstances that you're given in life. You cannot dictate who your parents are. You cannot dictate the socioeconomic class that you're in growing up. But you can dictate how hard you work now. You can dictate how much money you make now. Everything is a result of what you've done in the past. Consequences exist always, whether positive or negative. So, are you going to be the kind of person that deals with your negative actions in the future? Or are you the kind of person that's going to be thanking prior you for the positive actions and the hard work that you've put forth to get to the point where future you is? The choice is yours. I'd like to thank you guys for watching today. feel free to like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions for me at all, or want me to cover any topic in specific, feel free to put that in the comments or DM me personally. I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.